Hello, everyone. How are you? Hope you're doing great. You're having a good day. First of all, thank you very much for coming to our webinar, for attending this webinar. We're really excited to talk about several topics. I am Eduardo. I am part of the Spanish Fiscally team. I am business development manager for the different fiscal solutions we have here in Spain, and also the e-receipt we will talk about. And with us is Lucia. Luci, you want to introduce yourself a bit?
Sure, thank you, Eduardo. Hi, everyone. I am Lucia. I am Italian, but living now in Vienna for more than 8 years. Part of Fiscally since August last year, and partnership manager, key account manager. Um, I deal with different topics, and one of these is the digital receipt. That's why I am part of this webinar right now.
Thank you, Luci. Yes, so basically, in this webinar, we're going to cover different topics. Mainly, we want you to have a high-level understanding of invoices in Spain, of invoicing in Spain. Okay, we will not go into much detail, but we want you to have a high-level understanding of how it works. If you have some similarities, if it has some similarities to the country you operate in, and you'll see it's kind of pretty standard to compare to other regions. And we will also talk about digital receipts, which is one of the solutions we are commercializing currently, and the benefits of it. So the agenda for today is the following. Okay, we'll talk about the different types of invoices in Spain. We'll talk about the simplified invoice, the correcting invoice, the complete invoice, several types of invoices. We'll also cover the invoicing obligation that any issuer has, which is obviously important. We'll also talk about e-receipts, sorry, what we mean by e-receipts, how we can get the most out of these e-receipts, and we'll also talk about the technical considerations for the implementation of the e-receipt solution that we provide, in case that you find it interesting for your business. So first things first, we have in Spain two different types of invoices. First, we have the simplified invoice, which is the typical cash register receipt, the typical receipt that we know. And then we have the complete invoice. What's in general the difference between both? The amount to be paid. So under 400 euros, we have to use the simplified invoice, and over 400 euros, we have to use the complete invoice. But there are some exceptions. So in Spain, for different services, you could spend up to 3,000 euros and you can still use the simplified invoice. What could be these certain services, these situations? So for example, it could be retail sales. So imagine any amount you spend on clubs, hair salons, transportation, hospitality,
an expensive bag,
whatever you can think of. Okay, but conceptually, the simplified invoice is more destined to minor sales, smaller sales, and the complete invoice for larger sales. Okay, it's very easy to identify a simplified invoice or a complete invoice. In a complete invoice, you will always see the fiscal information of the invoice recipient. On the simplified invoice, only the issuer fiscal information. Okay, and complete invoice is used for B2C and B2B, and simplified invoice only B2C. Okay, obviously B2B companies are or usually use complete invoices as they have to deduct the VAT, or perhaps they want to deduct those expenses, so they need to include that fiscal information in the invoice. And something important that I almost forgot is that anytime a client wants a complete invoice, the merchant, the business, has the obligation to create it. Perhaps imagine you go to a business trip and you spend 300 euros on a couple nights in a hotel, and obviously you want the complete invoice because you want to include your fiscal data. The hotel has to issue a complete invoice for you.
So it is upon request.
It is upon request. Yeah. There's some general rules, but there can be some certain requests, and obviously depending on the economic activity you work in, there may be some particularities. So it's important to really have a look at your industry and understand how it's done. But this is the general understanding and ruling. So as we said, simplified invoice is used when transactions have an amount below 400 euros. Also in transactions with an amount up to 3,000 euros in specific cases, and also for correcting invoices. In the next slide, we'll cover a bit deeper what a correcting invoice is. In all other situations, a complete invoice has to be issued. Okay? So what is a correcting invoice? Basically, the concept of it is an invoice that is used when we have to modify or add something to a previous issued invoice. Okay, so imagine that the cashier put the wrong price, or the VAT number is incorrect, or there's a discount that wasn't applied, or the date wasn't gathered properly, or your end customer wants to do a refund, or there are unpaid invoices. In those cases, you have to issue a correcting invoice in order to
rectify
and correct that transaction. Okay. In the next slide, we will understand. We'll have an easy example, and we will go over the different methods that we have. Okay. In Spain, these correcting invoice or rectifying invoices have a different invoice series and number correlating that have to be correlating. And basically, as a general ruling, you have to include the transaction data, the same transaction data as in the first incorrect invoice, except for the amount. Okay. And also there's an important field in correcting invoices, which is a field in which we have to specify which invoice are we correcting or are we rectifying. Okay. This is something that is quite controlled by the tax agencies, because before many years ago, many companies used to modify existing invoices or even eliminate, and that's why they really have some control on this topic. So there are two methods in order to correct an invoice in Spain: by substitution and by difference. And I think it's a good example. Imagine that you go to a store, you buy a pair of jeans for 100 euros. There's a discount that wasn't applied. So imagine you go to the store, you pay for those 100 euros, the receipt is issued, and then you realize the discount wasn't applied. So what does the merchant have to do? Basically, they have to issue a correcting invoice, so a second invoice with the same transaction data of the first invoice. So a pair of jeans, the same date of the transaction, VAT number, etc. And then in the end, by the substitution method, they have to put an amount of minus 100 so that it is netted to zero. And then they have to issue another invoice, normal invoice or normal receipt, in which they include this pair of jeans with the discount. Okay, this would be one method. The other method would be by difference. So by difference, the correcting invoice, instead of including a minus 100 amount, it would include a minus 10 euro amount. So that if you subtract both invoices, you would have the cost, or the cost for the consumer to be 90 euros. So these are the two methods. We recommend, and as far as we have talked with the tax authorities, they recommend the substitution method, as it is kind of simpler, more intuitive, but you can use any of them. Okay. And now we're going to talk about the invoicing obligations for any issuer. These invoicing obligations are gathered in a royal decree in the Article 6, and I'm pretty sure they're very standard to whatever European country you're working in. So basically, you have to include the invoice number and the CDS. Again, they have to be correlating numbers. The date and time of the issuance of this receipt, fiscal data of the issuer. So obviously the VAT number, legal address, etc. And the recipient, if it makes sense, if it's needed, if we have to issue a complete invoice. Then the description of the sale, the total amount, and the VAT tax. About the line item description, it is not compulsory by law, but obviously the end customer is going to require it. So it's kind of, you have to include it for sure. Okay. Also, I don't know if any of you are familiarized with the ticket buy regulation, which is basically a regulation that applies to the Basque Country. In one sentence, you have to send in real time your receipts to the tax authorities. That's what it means. And basically, for the POS vendors that have clients in these regions, clients with a legal address in these regions, they have to include a ticket buy QR code and a ticket buy alphanumeric code. But this only applies today to the clients, or part of your clients, that only work in the Basque Country. Okay. Also, a couple facts that I think are interesting. In Spain, your merchants have to archive their invoices for 4 years. So the archiving functionality may be interesting for you to offer. And what's compulsory for merchants is to ask to the client if they need the receipt, if they want the receipt. Obviously, you have to declare it, but you don't have to print it or show it digitally compulsorily. The format, there's nothing said about the format. It can be paper or it can be digital. Okay. And we have been talking about invoices, how it's done, etc. The other day I was reading about the origin of the invoices, when was the first transaction done, and so on. And the first invoice was issued in the 19th century. It was done in paper. And if you think about it, receipts and invoices haven't changed much. And lately, in several countries, in Spain as well, for example, a couple big supermarket chains such as Mercadona or Lidl, they have been issuing digital receipts. And they have done this mainly for the environmental part, but because of other reasons that Luci will cover a bit later. So we want to show you our understanding of digital receipt and what our solution consists of. So I'm going to play a video so that you can have a better understanding. Okay, I hope that with this video you have now a better understanding of the solution. And we want you to experience what an end customer of a store, of a bar, or restaurant can see. So please take your mobile phones and scan the receipt and check it out. While you're downloading and while you're scanning the receipt and checking it out, Lucia is gonna take over and gonna deepen a bit more on the receipt. So Luci, whenever you want, you can start.
Sure. Thank you, Eduardo, first of all, for explaining us a little bit better the Spanish legislation and the difference between, the invoices in Spain. So let's quickly now, I'll go to the next slide. Okay. So our digital receipt solution consists of three parts. For the point of sales vendors, there is an API to integrate. If you are already familiar with Fiscally, you know that we offer other solutions. They are all APIs. And why that? We know that, an API is something that for point of sales vendors is their day-to-day work, but why we have now created an API and we are offering it to POS vendors? Simply because we really believe that there is much more than just the digital receipt. So we have developed a solution that we will keep up to date, that we will maintain, where there is a team working only on this, on deploying new feature, on creating a partnership, creating an entire ecosystem, talking with banks, talking with third parties. I will go a bit more in details later on. But what we have this API for you to integrate, and we take care of everything. For you, it's just one rollout, and that's it. No more issues. Second of all, the second part of our solution is the dashboard for the merchants. Now, why there is a dashboard for the merchants needed? Because our digital receipt is not only a paper receipt in a digital form that would be too easy. We wanted really to give this extra feature and making as a marketing tool for all offline customers. So, of course, the digital receipt is 100% legal compliant. It means that it has all the fields that are required by law. There is the logo of the taxpayer, there is the VAT, there are all the details, there are line items with the VAT. But there is also a part that you can see now in the slide. There is a customized section where you can actually push any marketing material in order to reach anonymous customers. And I don't know, for example, ask them to subscribe to your newsletter in exchange to a discount code. Or you can actually also do a little bit of what you have done, I'm sure, already in e-commerce. I buy a pair of shoes, and then I have the message, oh, other customers together with these shoes have combined this look, and then I have another couple of items displayed. So it is interactive. It is for marketing initiatives while the customer stays anonymous. I have been talking before about the merchant's dashboard. This is a tool that we offer to the merchants directly in order to customize the receipt. You can customize your e-receipt. You can put a nice logo on top with all your information. Also, if you have scanned the QR code before, you could see how the receipt is not only black and white, but it is, a colorful receipt by having it digitally, you can just play with it and make it nicer also for the end customers. As I said before, there are different sections in the merchant board where, of course, you can have your marketing actions, your promotion for cross-selling, and also, for example, asking the clients to register to your loyalty program. One more part that is actually very interesting is that you can have some analytics of all the receipts that you issued. So one more, we know that data is king right now, and we offer some KPI analytics for you. Let's have a closer look. As you can see, again, the logo, the line items, VAT, all the legal requirements, plus any type of marketing materials that you want to add. Okay, so let's go now in how it works. I have been now talking about anonymous customers. Of course, there are two flows. I will now explain you both. So why I'm talking about an anonymous customers? Simply because we have seen already some companies offering a digital receipt, but when they know the customer, because maybe the customer, the shopper is already like having their loyalty card or the loyalty app, they are already registered and they are recurring customers. And they can, of course, then give them a digital receipt in their account when there is the transaction, but they have no clue about customers that have no loyalty app, but that are still going and purchase something in the store. So how does it work? The customer at the cash register pays, he can pay by cash, he can pay by card, and then there will be a QR code displayed. It can be a dynamic or a static. And after the QR code is scanned on your smartphone, the digital receipt will appear. Now, what you want to do with that is up to you. You can, of course, download it on your phone. You can save it. You can then add it to any wallet that you want. I will talk later about the Google Wallet. We have a nice partnership. We have also the Fiscally wallet is the third part of our solution. Not mandatory in order to have it, but if you don't know where to store it and you want to store them all together, then there is also the possibility to have the Fiscally wallet for the customers. This is then the flow for customers that are not anonymous to the merchant simply because maybe they are already part of a loyalty program, or maybe because they are customer of a bank that has a partnership with us. And so the way we see this flow is that the customer at the checkout pays, and then he leaves the shop. Why that? How is it possible without the receipt? No, the receipt is automatically added to the loyalty app in the account of the store, or maybe reconciles the transaction in the bank account, or maybe in the credit card app, or in any other account where he wants the receipt to be displayed. So really, really easy. No more losing a receipt. I mean, the hassle is real. I remember that I needed to change a pair of shoes. Yes, I talk about bags, shoes, and then I couldn't find the receipt. And without the receipt, they wouldn't change it. And I was, okay, very well. Now I can't change it anymore. With a digital receipt, that wouldn't happen. Even more important, a warranty. You buy any item where you have the warranty, and then it happened to me again. Maybe I'm just a bit unlucky, but after 2 years, I needed the receipt. The receipt faded away, and I couldn't read anymore anything. So yes, not the nicest customer experience. That's why we have the digital receipt. This is just to show you the flow at the checkout together for anonymous customer or non-anonymous. And next, yes, Google Wallet partnership. We have recently started a partnership with Google. Now, for all the users that have Google Pay and that pay with Google, when they scan a receipt, they have the possibility to add it to their Google Wallet and to have them all saved there in a separate folder, not to have everything mixed. We are also working on more partnership like this, so stay tuned because we are really working day after day into binding and offering you the best solution ever and the best experience to your customer and to the customer of your customer. So I think that with this, I finished my explanation. If you want to continue, Eduardo, please.
Thank you, Luci. Thank you. Now we're going to cover the technical considerations of this solution. You have a QR code that you can scan and go to our developer page. It will redirect you to the API of the receipt so that you can check it out. In there, you also have the other APIs of our solutions as well. Okay. In this API of the e-receipt, you have a quick start, and you can do a postman demo. Basically, check out how the API works and have a very basic knowledge and understand how it works in 15-20 minutes. Overall, we have more than 300 organizations, and it has taken 1 or 2 days for the implementation. So this solution is pretty easy to implement, which is important. So you can test it out. Usually our clients, how they start are POS vendors. They test the solution with 3 clients, see how it works, see where we have to fix whatever, etc. And then roll it out.
Most important, if there is anything, we are really at your disposal for any concern, any question, please just reach out to us. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Thanks. And then also an important thing is that we are ISO certified and GDPR compliant. And we mention this because we know that for POS vendors, this is quite important. And we just want to let you know that we are covered, that we are a safe, secure company. The solution is secure as well. And in case you want to really understand how we do it and you have any concerns regarding GDPR and the security of that data, you can reach out to us and we can go a bit further. We also recommend you, if you're interested in knowing a bit more about the fiscal legislations in Spain, we have created a white paper, free of charge, of course. And basically you can read it out and learn a bit more about the topic. We think it will give you a good high-level understanding of what's going on and what's coming up, etc. So we really recommend that you download it. And the best of our solution is that in the next 3 months, you can start using the e-receipt free of charge. Okay, we have a promotion going on. Since you implement it, we want to give you 3 months to test it out, to see the value of it. And then if it makes sense to you and you like the solution, you could start paying for it. But we want to give you enough time to really see the value of it. Okay.
And maybe a little bit of reward to you, Eduardo. You can say that we have been awarded in Spain.
Correct. Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. So we were awarded as one of the best 100 ideas. So actually the solution's working quite well in the market. Many customers are integrating it. So we're pretty happy that we're having a really good adoption in the Spanish market by end customers and merchants. And last but not least, we wanted to mention a bit more about the company, about Fiscally. We know that many of you have come to several webinars, so you already know us. But we wanted to make a bit of an intro to those new attendants. Basically, what we do in Fiscally is that we build fiscal solutions for European companies at the moment. The company was founded in Vienna, in Austria. We currently operate in Germany, Austria, and Spain. More countries to come pretty soon that we can't disclose right now.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We have the number one cloud fiscalization solution in Germany, and we have more than 600K POS under contract. So obviously,
market leader in
market
Germany.
leader, correct. So we have been there since these new fiscal regulations have come out, and we're a reference in the compliance industry. We work very closely with the tax authorities of different countries, a trusted partner. So basically we want to let you understand that we're a safe choice, and we know what we're doing and what we're working on. Okay. And basically, if you have any additional questions, you can email us. You have both of our emails. You could also use the chat and write a question. The team will answer you as soon as possible. And again, if you need anything, please contact us in our emails or in any form in our web. We're more than welcome to help you. And yes. I think that's it, Luci.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure. We are really welcoming all your emails and next calls, next meetings. If you want to have a one-on-one to understand even a bit better, if there are any questions, please let us know. We are here to help.
Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.